Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and I've been perusing the web a little bit. I like to go shopping on the internet and then leave my carts abandoned in places, but I get ideas doing that, and so as crazy as that sounds, I saw something that I have seen some of my junk journal people using recently or creating with, and they're called specimen slides. So the specimen slides, the design that I saw, they were using a die to create these, but there isn't any reason we can't do this in Design Space, and so that's what I'm going to start with. So I'm going to start with basically a square, and let me get to the right window here. I'm going to use the kind of rounded one though. I like that one a little bit better. And let's see, going back and looking, so it's what we're going to do is I'm going to change the color. You know, I can't stand that dark gray, and I'm going to enlarge this just so that it's easier for me to see, which will make it easier for you to see as well. And so one of the things that they did with this slide was, of course, there's an open square in the center so that you can view the slide. So before I do anything else, I'm going to take this square and I'm going to duplicate that because I'm going to want another copy of that later. And so I'm going to duplicate it one more time, and then I'm going to resize that so that it leaves a nice border around this square when we cut it out. And I think I can go a little bit bigger with it. That's really going to be personal preference. I'm just showing you how to do it. That looks pretty good. And again, I could probably even go a little bit bigger with it. Alright, so now I'm going to select both, and I'm going to center them both, and I'm going to slice, and I'm just going to pull those over there. We might need them later. So there we have our window to view our slide through. So I'm going to now add these little shapes they have on the sides. I'm not sure what value or purpose they have, but just because we're casing this design, we're going to go ahead and do that. So they had these little, I'm going to round those off too, just because the rounded edges seem to hold up better over time. And I'm going to resize this. I'm going to unlock my proportions here, or unlock my proportions, so that I can change the size on this. And it doesn't need to be very big. Let's go with that. And I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to bring it over here, roughly. And now I want to select both of those small rectangles. And I want to align them. We'll go with the top. And then I'm going to group them. And then I'm going to center them horizontally with my specimen slide window. There we go. Now, do I think that makes a big enough cut? I do. So I'm going to duplicate these. Forgot what I was doing. I'm going to move it down here, somewhere right about there. And I'm going to align these now to the left and group it and center it again. And this time we'll just do center. Alright, so what I need to do next is these tabs that I've grouped, I need to combine them. So we'll combine and weld. And now that they're one piece, we'll select everything again and we will slice. And we'll pull this off out of here. And there you go. You can see. Let me just move that a little bit more. Get rid of those. So now you can see we're really starting to look like the specimen slide from before. Now I could have moved those in a little bit more, but, well, not in so much as down. You know what, I am going to do that because I do think it will look better. So I'm just going to Ctrl Z until I get back to where I was, if it will let me. There we go. Okay, so I need to unweld them as well and ungroup them. Okay, so we're going to slide this down. And we'll slide this up. And we'll go ahead and group them again. And we will select everything again. Well, actually no, we're going to take the ones we grouped and we're going to combine and then weld. And now we can slice. Oops, didn't mean to change the size on it. Okay, I like that better. So what I should have done was copied one of these, but I'm going to just take, oh, I didn't mean to do that. We're going to take this and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. Because the slide also had these notches on the bottom, right? Why does it keep changing my size on me? That's not what I want to do. Okay, there we go. And so then we'll place them down here and we will center it horizontally. There we go. Now I think that might be a little high up, so we're going to come down just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit more. Yeah, let's try that. So we're going to slice again. And we'll pull that away. And we'll delete that. So all I did was I took the pieces that I already had, I flipped them 90 degrees, and I used the end that hadn't been sliced away. So in this case, it would have been, I could still do it again if I needed to with these bottom pieces. I don't know if you can see how rounded those are, whereas these are 90-degree corners. These are still rounded. So that's all I did there, in case that was a little confusing. So I'm going to zoom back out, and we'll go one more zoom. So now we have our slide that looks a lot like the slide that was created from the die cut. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. Okay, so now we have a couple options. Now the original die cut had a solid back, which I find a little odd if it's a slide. I don't know why you'd want that, but maybe you would. So we're going to do it two ways. First of all, I'm going to get the size on this. It's 5.472, and I'm going to make these 5.472 so that it's the same size. I'm going to delete this one. I don't think we need it any longer. And just zoom out a little bit more. And actually I won't need this one, but I'll just slide it over here. So I'm going to make two more copies of this, and we'll pull those over here. So the first thing we want to do is align these. So I'm going to select both pieces and align them to the left or the right. You can do it either way. And then you just want to make sure they overlap. And I'm going to zoom in, that way I can really see if there's a line there. And there is. There's a little bit of a space, so I'm going to move that up one. And I think it's still a little separate, so I'm going to move it up one more. And now I'm going to attach them. So select them both, combine, and weld. I said attach, I meant weld. I'm going to do the same with this on the right, except before I do that, I want to flip this one. So let's flip that vertically, and that way those tabs aren't cut out here in the middle where the two pieces join. So now I'm going to select both of these with the windows on both sides. I'm going to align them to the left or the right, whichever, and pull them down just a little bit and enlarge. There we go. Okay, so now I want to move this up until they touch. It's still a little far apart, I think. Do one more. That's good. So we'll select them both, and we're going to come under Combine and Weld. Now we've got both of them welded, so we need to add our score line to the center. I'm going to delete this. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep it, and I'm just going to hide it. Since I'll share this file, somebody might want that. So we need a score line, so we're going to come back under Shapes. We're going to grab our line here. I like to flip it 90 degrees, and I say I like to, we actually need to, and it is already a score line, so just get that close and then stretch it across, and then highlight both pieces, the line and the specimen slide, and we're going to center the line and center. There we go. And we're going to duplicate this score line. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Select the line and the specimen slide and center. And we're going to attach. We want to make sure when we go to cut it that that score line is attached right there in the center of that slide. That way it will fold neatly for you. We're going to do the same with the first one. And there you go. You've got a couple of slides now. These are a little big. You're going to want to reduce these. Let's see. Let's just reduce them both. I'm guessing maybe 2 by 2. So if we get this 2 inches wide, we still have a ways to go. Okay, we'll come. Alright, now they're 2 inches wide, and when you fold it, it'll be 2 by 2. So come back over and up, move these over to the corner. And anyway, there you have your specimen slides. So you would cut those out and then place your, glue your, whatever it is you want to be the focus of the slide in the center here. If you're using clear, what is it called, cellophane, or like the old overhead projector sheets, the clear stuff, you would want to center it between here. So I will see about making some and showing you what they look like when they're cut out. So let's see. I'm going to pause the video for a second, and then we'll go to the Cricut and start cutting. Alright, so I pulled a piece of scrap out of my paper stash and went ahead and cut these slides out, and I think they came out pretty well. Just pull everything off the mat. Alright, so we ended up with a little bit of scrap, and I will probably go ahead and save the bottom part here just because it's big enough to save, but everything else I will throw in the trash. My battle with scraps, or my war with scraps, is getting out of control. So So anyway, we have our 2 specimen slides, and they're ready to be assembled. Now, the one thing about the Cricut, and I'm looking for my bone folder, oops, is that it, oh, where did that go? There it is. The one thing about the Cricut is it will leave a little lip, and actually dies can do it too, just about anything can. I like to smooth that down just because for my own sake, my tactile sensory issues are much happier when when I can't feel that little lip anymore. And again, that is just a me thing. You do not have to worry about that if you do not have those kind of issues. So it's ready. You can see, I think you can see the score line barely, and it's ready to be folded. So there's one. Now, one thing I didn't do, and you could go back and do it, is add those little notches that are on the sides and the tabs to the back of this as well. Or when you go to cut this one out, just go into contour and remove one of these, either one, just one of them though, and then that'll give you the same thing, I guess. So we'll fold this one, burnish it down, and they are ready to have something glued inside them. And I don't think I have anything printed out on acetate. That's the word I was trying to think of earlier. I don't think I have anything printed out on acetate to show you, but maybe I can find something to print out. It has to be black and white though, because my color printer doesn't do the acetate that I have, because it's not for inkjets. So anyway, I'm rambling. I think you get the idea that it's pretty simple to make your specimen slides with the Cricut. So if you're interested in this file, if you do a lot of junk journaling, which I think these have become very popular for, you can access the file for free by joining my Facebook group, Expressions Craft Studio, and what I will do is I will put a link to this file in Design Space so that you can access it. If you have any problems, let me know. I did forget to post the link one of the last times I did one of these videos. It was for stencils, and somebody was kind enough to let me know they couldn't find it, so that was corrected. But I do make mistakes, more than I certainly ever used to, so bear with. But if you want this, you can get it for free, or you can go in and play with Design Space yourself and make it yourself. But it was relatively simple, as you saw. It took me no time at all to make, and it's kind of cute. Now you could even have the Cricut write something on there if you wanted it to say something specific. That's strictly up to you, but anyway, that was cute and easy. Just took something that I found while I was out doing my virtual shopping and figured out how to make it myself, which is the great thing about Cricut and Design Space. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, thanks for joining me.